how are you today?
Hi, I'm sorry. I was just texting my son's mom real quick about last week. I'm doing good though today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So how have things been going for you?
They've been going all right. As you know, been battling with this pill addiction for a while, and I've been trying to quit. And a couple days will go by. I think I'm strong. Then the withdrawals seem like they're getting better, but it's always like something triggers me, and once I get that thought in my head to get high, it's off to the races. I end up calling my dealer and snorting pills. So that's basically sums up the last couple weeks.
So have you gotten high today?
I have not gotten high today because I was planning on finding a way to get money after I leave here, but I can't promise you that I'm not going to get high. As of right now, it's probably going to happen.
Well, your honesty's good. So you haven't got high today, but you're feeling like you need to. So when you leave, you're going to try to get money and go get high.
Yeah, that's definitely what the plan is so far, even though I know it's probably not the best idea.
Okay. And how does getting high affect your life? Like,
it hurts it a lot. I try to convince myself that I'm a functioning pill snorting addict, but in reality I spend a lot of money on it. I don't feel right at work. I don't get high. Sometimes I call off. I put it before a lot of important things in life. So
do you feel like you put bills before your family?
I would like to say no, but when it comes down to it, it is, because technically if I get caught with the pills, then I go to jail, so technically that would be putting in before my family, so I do think that is something that I've been putting too high of what's important.
And does your family know that you have a pill problem?
They knew I had a pill problem. They all think I'm clean now, so as of right now, they do not know or think I'm currently getting high. They might have their suspicions, but they have not proven it yet.
And how does that make you feel?
I care, but in my active addict phase, I don't care just because I want to put the drugs first, and that's really what's important to me right now, which is very sad that I know that, and I still continue to get high.
Well, and I can understand because I'm actually in recovery myself.
Oh, really?
So I've been where you've been before, and I know it's a very difficult struggle within yourself you want to stop, but you just can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been successful at quitting before?
I was successful. I had probably like 19 months clean. 11 of it was I was locked up, so I guess it was still clean, but I met some girl and she got high, and a couple times around her, man, when your drug of choice is your drug of choice, she could have probably smoked crack, and I've never done it, but since she drank 30s, and that's what I liked, it didn't take too long before we were rolling up dollar bills and scraping hose claims.
That's understandable. Are you still with her?
No, she's a trick. It was a bad decision to even mess with her. It was just a little phase in life, but unfortunately, I separated from her, but the drugs didn't stay there. I knew that she'd be finding a better connect than she had. And that goes. Then you got to sell them because you want to pay for them.
Right. So what if you were to be able to get in recovery again, what is it that you would value most about recovering?
Really about it is, for me personally, I just think this time around is I'm done. I knew last time I probably had another run to me. I didn't want to go back to it, but deep down I knew, I was like, if it happens, it happens. I have one more to go. Now I'm looking at it as like I really don't want to get high anymore. I really am at that point where every addict reaches where they're like, all right, I'm done with this. It was fun while it lasted. So I think I'd take it a lot more serious than first, because now it'd be self-admitting if I get help. Last time it was called court force shit, so I guess it was kind of going through the motions, you know what I mean?
Right. So you were forced into getting help last time and getting clean,
Mm-hmm.
and this time you actually want it for yourself.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that is definitely 100% what it is.
Okay. How do you think your family would feel if you were to get honest with them and go get help?
I think they would be kind of hurt that I went back into that phase of life, but I think that at the same time they would see that, okay, he's doing it on his own this time. He might be legitimate about it. So it's a 50-50 gamble, but you know, it's something I did, so it's some type of it's like I gotta face those consequences of man, you know, opening it up to them and let them know the truth, because I mean they're gonna eventually find out one way or another, either it's being locked up, ODing, or
Right.
yeah.
Because I mean, you've got the possibility if you continue using, there's a possibility that you could get caught with pills. You could lose your kids, and you could even end up overdosing. So there's a lot of negative things that can happen. On a positive end, if you would get clean and follow through with it, you know, you'd have more money, you would be able to have a better relationship with your family because you could be honest with them. What's some other positives that you can see if you were to get clean?
I think, and those consequences all were things I think out of my head, you know, what could happen if I continue using. A lot of positive can come from, you know, getting clean. I mean, I know I'd work harder, I know I'd save more money, I know I'd just be all around just a more active father, husband, because you know, sometimes, you know, you don't feel like doing anything unless you're high, so like, I feel like I want to be able to, you know, go to a sports game without having to, you know, blow down a 30 in the car, you know, before I go in, or be able to, like, you know, just enjoy a movie without having to go to the bathroom twice just to, you know, to get back. So I think there's a lot of good opportunities in living a clean, sober life.
Right.
I'm not gonna stop smoking weed though.
Okay, well, it's one thing at a time,
Yeah.
and if, you know, you can focus on getting the pills out of your life, then maybe later on down the line that might change with you. But whether it does or it doesn't, we can just focus on the pill issue right now, because that's, I mean, you could overdose anytime. You never know what you're getting. What are some ways that you could avoid stress? Because what I'm hearing you say is that, like, you used to avoid stress. So
Yeah.
what are some other coping strategies that have worked for you in the past to reduce your stress?
I think I just need like another hobby or something to help me like take my mind off it whenever I do get that urge. Maybe like I've been thinking about maybe just getting lifted or just going on a run or playing basketball to help manage that stress appropriately and legally in order to avoid the terrible consequences of ODing, dying, you know, getting arrested. So I think like just extracurricular activities would be a very, very positive thing for me to do to help balance that and, you know, separate myself from the drugs and the drug crowd, you know, because you don't need too many, you know, active opiate basketball players or
Right.
bodybuilders and anything like that.
Right. So what I hear you saying that finding a different crowd of people to hang around with and finding a hobby would be beneficial to you. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Have you looked into possibly any detox centers that you might be able to go to?
I have not. I'm still kind of in the contemplation stage, so I've got some, you know, feedback from a few people that, oh, here, but as in like seriously looking down and like focusing on what I want to do in regards to that, I haven't taken that step yet, but I want to eventually.
Okay, and I appreciate your honesty, and you know, I hear you say that you do want to stop, but then I got to go back to the beginning when you came in. You said when you were leaving today that you were going to go get high, so it's kind of
contradict myself. Yeah, I don't want to get high, but I just know that urge will be here when I leave here, and sitting there, I don't hands the devil's playground, so I know that it's probably something that might happen. Hopefully it doesn't, you know, but I just gotta accept, you know, what most likely could or will happen.
Okay. So basically you're in, what I hear you saying is you're in the contemplation stage of quitting. Homework that I would like for you to try, if you're okay with this, is over the next few days, if you could keep a journal, like as to when you're triggered to use, like just write down like the time of day and what's going on. and then just follow up with whether you used or not. Is that something that you think that you could work on?
Yeah, that's definitely something good. I just like keeping journals anyway. Stuff like that could really help, you know, with the process of breaking the addiction.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good then. So if you do that, then you might be able to identify some of your triggers, and you know, next week maybe we'll work on seeing how you feel about looking into some detox centers if you're still thinking that you want to quit.
Mm-hmm.
So does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, that is perfect. It sounds like a great idea.
Okay.
It's a task to keep me focused, you know.
Right. Okay. Well, so I guess basically for today, you know, you came to me open and honest that you're struggling with a pill addiction. You're not high right now, which is good, but you don't know what's going to happen later today, and I appreciate your honesty. You know, you can see and feel what it's doing to yourself and your family. And for this week, you're just going to keep a journal of when you're triggered to use and whether you used or not, and then we'll look at that next week.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, well, thank you very
No
much for
problem.
coming in, and I hope that today goes good for you.
Great, thank you for sitting here and talking. I feel like you built a great report.
Thank you.